tuning into EskimoTV. I'm your host, Jason Escamilla. God's Not Dead, A Light in the Darkness is the third installment in the God's Not Dead series and is written and directed by Michael Mason. This movie stars David A.R. White as Dave Hill, a pastor of a church whose church is burned down and is being persecuted for him expressing that Jesus Christ is the one and only truth at his church that is located on a college campus. This movie has some entertaining moments specifically geared for Christians like myself, but unfortunately is very slow, had a lot of subplots, and I ultimately thought was boring. It's extremely unrealistic for me to believe that people would be so volatile against a single pastor. Most college campuses currently have organizations that are comprised of different groups who have a variety of different beliefs, and from my experience, each group set of beliefs are respected amongst the college community. This might be more realistic perhaps if the film was set in the future where laws and popular belief towards Christianity was negatively different, but this seems to take place in the present, and this university committee as the antagonist didn't really feel realistic and mostly took me out of the story. There's so many subplots that make the story feel a bit unfocused. There's a subplot between Pastor Dave and his brother Pearson who has a different mindset than Pastor Dave does, and it just kind of comes out of nowhere near the end of the film, escalates, and there's another subplot involving a couple that are doubting the existence of God, and if anything felt somewhat real, it was this plot. However, this plot was so short and not enough to really save this movie from what it ended up being. The performances are decent, but nothing noteworthy. Pastor Dave does a few things that are understandable, but clearly go against actions you'd expect a pastor to take. However, people may appreciate the attempt to humanize this pastor. I thought it was a little bit unsettling. When I saw the pastor hit his lowest point, I didn't really feel anything because I don't think the film did a great job at building a believable character through a realistic series of events. Instead, the movie feels a little bit too forced, and I wouldn't recommend seeing God's Not Dead, A Light in the Darkness. I think I Can Only Imagine is a little bit more realistic and not as preachy as this movie is. I do think that if you don't mind seeing an unrealistic plot unfold and are interested in seeing Christian themes of forgiveness and grace be played out on the big screen, you may enjoy this movie, but for me, the resolution was ultimately underwhelming. I'm going to give God's Not Dead, A Light in the Darkness a C-. I love talking about movies, but one thing I love more is talking about movies with you. So leave a comment if you have any questions or have an opinion that you would like to share regarding God's Not Dead, A Light in the Darkness. You can also carry an ongoing conversation with me if you want to go follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this, you can click right here for more icy and chilly EskimoTV reviews.